The good times are rolling for Avondale Shipyards. Last year they made $112 million in profits on over $1 billion in sales. They've got $2.3 billion in backlogged orders, so the good times ought to keep rolling for quite a while. CEO Al Bourget got $1.3 million in salary and bonuses last year, so he's rolling too. Unfortunately, times aren't so good for Avondale's 5,000 workers. In fact, times are tough.
The wages is low, the benefits, we don't have any.
They need to improve the working conditions too, because there's a lot of people getting hurt out here.
Way back in June of 1993, the workers at Avondale voted to form a union to deal with these problems. 6 years later, they're still waiting.
Avondale just simply refuses to acknowledge its responsibility to recognize and bargain with the union. We've seen this conduct consistently over the last 6 years.
The company has used high-priced lawyers, paid for with your tax money, to block their employees' democratic decision.
It's a slap in the face to be an American citizen for this to happen.
But Al Bourget's time is running out. For the workers are being joined by people all over Louisiana to demand justice at Avondale.
If I had one message to send to him, they said that it's off the back burner now. It's on the front burner that action will speak louder than words. We will show him better than we can tell him that we mean business now.
More than 1,000 Avondale workers are jamming a park in Bridge City tonight. They're remembering workers killed or hurt on the job and demanding a safer shipyard. John Huffman is live at the rally.
Workers have been embroiled in a bitter fight to unionize Avondale for the past 6 years. They say pay is low and working conditions are unsafe. But today, they tried a different tack, a memorial service to honor the 30 workers they say have died at Avondale over the years. The service was designed to draw attention to what they call unsafe conditions at the shipyard. 3 weeks ago, OSHA fined Avondale $500,000 for some 400 health and safety violations. It was the second highest OSHA fine against a shipyard in U.S. history.
I was on the safety inspection with OSHA, and what I seen, they seen, and it was terrible. They found 473 violations, I believe, and I was on that inspection, so I know that the yard is in really poor shape.
It's kind of awful in some places where you be welding at. You know, it's not ventilated properly, you know. Because I'm a welder and I know. I'm being honest about this. Just the other day, a man got hurt. A plate fell and hit him in the head and knocked his eye out.
And he had to have like 5 hours of surgery, and he's still in ICU today.
My husband, it's kind of painful for me right now because I have to relive all of this all over again. He went to work and he never came home. At 5:30, my husband would always be home. He never showed up. I called at Avondale to find out some information about him. They couldn't give me the information. I called again. They still couldn't give me information. I called for the third time and he told me that he had clocked in, but he didn't clock out. And that's all the information they gave me. And then the guy from the compensation office came to my house the next morning and told me my husband was dead.
Andy Bergeron worked at Avondale until an accident put him in this wheelchair. At first, the company and their doctor tried to keep him working despite his injury.
And it was still bothering me, so they put me on light duty in the shop. And I couldn't take it anymore, so I told him I wanted to go see a real doctor, an orthopedic surgeon. So that's when I went and see Dr. Mackey in Thibodeau. And he did arthroscopic surgery.
Adding insult to injury, Avondale tried to keep Andy and Stephanie from getting food stamps by claiming they were offering Andy work.
And food stamps realized they were lying, so they went ahead and released our food stamps.
Then they fired him.
And, you know, I know they do more than just that, just to one person. I know they've done it to a lot of people.
He's trying desperately to be able to get, you know, some type of job again, but it's hard.
the Avondale employees, I work with them side by side, and they make $5, $6 less than I do. You know, and I think it's pretty unfair to those guys because they risk their lives every day out here, you know.
We build ships, and I think we should get paid more than what we're getting paid for.
For the kind of work we do, it should be higher. You have people here that's been here 14, 15, 16 years and still not making top dollar.
The people are being underpaid at Avondale Shipyard. They're not even able to take care of their families, their children. It's a lot of things that need to be done at Avondale.
Definitely, we should have a better retirement here because they got a fella that I know, we work here 29 years, that man getting about $200-something a month. Then another friend of mine that work here 43 years, and the man don't get $400 a month.
I'm almost at retirement age, and I don't even have any benefits to retire on. And that's one thing that I really disagree on, because I'm 56 years old right now, and then I can't even question anyone about what could I receive if I retire.
The conduct of Avondale Shipyards has been so outrageous that it is not an exaggeration to call this an outlaw company. First, CEO Al Bourget used a complicated financial scheme to buy control of the company using the workers' own money.
What he did was took money out of the workers' pension plan and bought the company with the workers' money.
Avondale workers voted by a 60% majority for union representation. But Bourget and Avondale refused to recognize the results of that election.
How do they keep getting away with what they're doing?
Where's it going to stop? Where will it stop them from treating the employees like numbers, like garbage? Use them, throw them away.
Avondale refuses to accept the findings of the most recent OSHA safety inspection, which identified 473 serious and willful violations, conditions which are likely to lead to serious injuries or deaths.
Avondale has appealed the most recent OSHA citations and almost gleefully announced to the public that it would take a year or more for its appeal to be heard. I think that that's the worst form of cynicism. These are serious violations that exist in that shipyard, and instead of spending the time and certainly the money involved in appealing, instead of taking that money and putting it back into the shipyard and making it a safer shipyard, it's simply trying to deny its workers the rights that they're entitled to.
And they are using your tax dollars, money they get from the U.S. Department of Defense, to avoid and oppose and delay each of these legal responsibilities.
We have a shipyard who receives 90% of its work from the federal government through the Department of Defense. All of that money is taxpayer money. Avondale, in fighting the claims of OSHA and the National Labor Relations Board, is being reimbursed for its attorney's fees by the United States government through the Department of Defense.
There is one remedy for the problems at Avondale: to accept the outcome of their workers' democratic choice and negotiate a fair contract with those workers. A contract that will ensure their safety on the job and give them the fair wages and benefits they deserve.
If I had to talk personally to Al Bourget, definitely I would tell him, like the old men that been here all these years that brought this yard up, he needs a better retirement for us.
And the wages, both of these, you know, it need to be done better than what it is now.
They would stress more safety on the job, and that they would not only stress it, but perform it as well.
Quit blaming it on the workers. It's his responsibility to provide us with a safe working environment.
So they don't have to go through what we've been through. You know, people won't have to starve and lose everything they work for all their life to lose it from when they get hurt.
Avondale, please, safety first.
I would just like to tell him, shame on him, and he's got to answer to God. He does.
Let God touch his heart, you know, and as a matter of fact, I know he have a hard heart. I know he said that everybody at Avondale is satisfied, but I can say they are not satisfied. I'm not satisfied, and there's a lot more that are not satisfied with our working conditions. So I pray that God would touch his heart, and he would probably give in and let us come to the table and negotiate a contract.